Good morning, everyone. It's a great day to be on the AT. I slept very well last night, and I'm ready for a better day than yesterday. Yesterday, when it had rained all day, and I had entered New York, it was a very challenging day, but there really wasn't a whole lot to see. And so I'm hoping with today's sunny skies, I'll get to see some more of what New York has to offer. It's a brisk morning. It's going to warm up considerably today, though. We're going to rise up to the 80s today. It is going to be sunny, but the good thing is it's going to be able to help dry things out. Today I've got a initial goal of 19.7 miles to the Brien Memorial Shelter. From there, I'll evaluate the time remaining in the day versus the distance to the next shelter and see if it's doable. New York is one of those states where it's only permissible to camp at designated areas. I do want to talk about hikers helping hikers. This morning there was another thru-hiker that had left his raincoat or his rain jacket at the shelter. And so I'm one of the more fast hikers. And so I'm got his jacket. I know he took off about 45 minutes ahead of me. So my task is to catch him and give him his jacket. So I'm moving kind of with a quickness today. I'm pretty sure he and I are headed to the same shelter. So regardless, even if I don't catch him, hopefully I'll see him there by the end of the day. And then last night, I had the privilege of watching another thru-hiker whose trail name is Taps play taps in the evening. Taps is a buglist who is, I guess, certified to play taps at military and memorial services. And he's thru-hiking, and each evening he plays taps at whichever shelter he is at. And he's actually doing it as part of a fundraiser for the Wounded Warrior Foundation. If you want to learn more about what TAPS is doing and his cause and his goals for fundraising, I've put a link in the description of this video in case any of you might be interested. It was a neat thing, especially as a veteran on Memorial Day weekend. So it was a nice moment. Other than that, I am looking forward to today. It is gonna be a good opportunity to get some sights. Today we're gonna pass through the lemon squeezer, and we're even gonna see a waterfall. With all that being said, I'm happy to share today's day. I'm Bricks, everyone. For those that don't know me, for those that do, and who've been supporting me this whole time, thank you very much. Let's start our day. This is Fitzgerald Falls. Nice first sight of the day. So I just passed some day hikers that were going in the other direction, and I asked them if they'd seen the thru-hiker that forgot the jacket, and they said he's about 15 minutes ahead of me. So I believe I've picked up about 45 minutes on him, so I'm making progress. So this has kind of been our situation all morning so far. We're at mile 8. We've gone up about 5 or 6 of these ascents that are very rocky, boulders, a little bit slippery still from yesterday's rain, but it requires a little bit of climbing. And then once we get to the top, we go down the other side, wash, rinse, repeat. It's slow going, but it's still kind of fun. For everybody's reference, these are the types of climbs I was doing yesterday during the rain. Hopefully you can tell why it was so precarious. But we're rewarded. Today's first sort of view, slightly obscured, but we can see the next ridgeline. This is one of our better views today. We're looking down at Interstate 87. Time to head back downhill. Interstate 87. So I've entered the Herriman State Park, and the trail is much smoother. There was kind of a steep climb initially, and I'm down in a valley right now, and I'm gonna have one more climb up as we head towards the lemon squeezer. But for right now, the trail is very good. So a couple of observations here in the Herriman State Park. There's a lot of day hikers, which is to be expected. But what I found sort of humorous and maybe a little bit concerning is that I'd stopped for water at a stream not long after entering the park. Some day hikers wanted to ask me if I was out hiking for long. They said I appeared as if I'd been hiking for days. And I responded with, well, actually, I've been hiking for months. And then they asked what I was doing, and I informed them I was working on my Thru-Hike of the Appalachian Trail. And then they asked, does the Appalachian Trail come through here? And I can only make an assumption that they were locals. Maybe they weren't, but they were definitely day hikers. But if there are locals in the area that don't know that the Appalachian Trail comes through, it's not a devastating thing or anything like that. It's not a blight on them or anything. It's just maybe that with a little bit of information, maybe they would appreciate the area a little bit more if they knew. All right, everybody, we have arrived at the lemon squeezer. Kind of anticlimactic. I made it through the tight fit. Lots of steep hills in New York. Not very long, but steep. An observation. So a bit ago, I actually met my first 2022 SOBO Thru-Hiker. SOBO means southbound, for those of you that don't know all of the vernacular, but I met a southbound Thru-Hiker who started in Maine and is hiking to Georgia. And it was really interesting. She was only 17 years old. She explained briefly that she didn't have a trail name and she was homeschooled, and she graduated early, met all the requirements to graduate, and to celebrate, she was through hiking the AT SOBO, or southbound. So we only talked for a couple of minutes, and we parted company, but to the no-name Thru-Hiker, you were the first SOBO that I met from the class of 2022. Doesn't mean that there aren't others ahead of her. It's just she's the first that I've met. So that would mean she's the first that I crossed paths with. So at about the 14-mile mark, I caught up with the thru-hiker about the rain jacket that had been left at the Wildcat shelter. And lo and behold, it wasn't his. So I am carrying a miscellaneous rain jacket because anyone who had been left at the shelter didn't claim it. And we had one other hiker that spoke up that was really certain that it belonged to this thru-hiker, but apparently it's not his. So I'm going to go back to my fallback plan, which is to leave it at the Brien shelter with a note in the shelter log that it is looking for an owner. It's one of those things we do, hikers helping hikers. Unfortunately, I did not find the owner, but the good news is I was able to catch up with the thru-hiker to whom I thought it belonged. Oh well, hopefully the good deed or the attempted good deed goes rewarded in some way. So, just a couple minutes ago, I was talking to a couple day hikers that were coming in the opposite direction. So they were headed south. I am, of course, headed north. And anyway, as I was talking with them, another thru-hiker came up from behind me. And I recognized him. He and his father are hiking together. And I recalled that they had stayed at the shelter last night. And so when I asked him about the rain jacket, it belonged to his father. So right then and there, I was able to hand it over, and it actually made me feel pretty good. I hate the thought of somebody being without a piece of their gear, but I'm also glad that the mystery of the rain jacket has been solved and it ended well. Well, everybody, it was a successful day of hiking. I am at the Brien shelter, and the shelter area is quite full. There are day hikers, section hikers, and thru-hikers all at the same shelter. It is Memorial Day weekend, and so it really brought people out. I imagine probably, especially after the rain we had yesterday, people were anxious to get into the woods. But all said and done, it was a 19.8 mile day. New York so far has been a bit more strenuous than I think I had originally expected. Very rocky, steep uphills and downhills, but the good news is they're very short in terms of duration. All in all, it was a good day of walking. Not a ton of sights. There's a lot of growth on the summits that we passed through today. I think there were a lot of good sights yesterday. However, they were all obscured by the rain and everything, which we detailed. But all of that being said, still a successful day. I look forward to sharing tomorrow's hike with everyone. Thank you again for your support. I'm Brix.